Hi, I'm Candice Liberty, and I'm back with you again today, this time to talk about my friend Jaime, who owns a salon.
Right down the street here at Little City Salon.
And she's gonna read her story, and then I'm gonna ask her questions and try to form some ideas for me to create her a painting similar to one of my own. Okay, so.
What I can say about my relationship is that when you love someone, sometimes the chapter of love can be destroyed but repaired at the same time. We, a couple months ago, experienced a miscarriage at 4.5 months along. This was the most devastating part of our lives. Neither of us knew how to process it, feel, think, see clearly into our future. Afterwards, the resentment, the confusion, the emotional anguish that we went through hindered our ability to love and grow strong. We sabotaged our emotional understanding and destroyed our life completely and our relationship together. This tragedy was so deep that we had to part ways to do our own separate healing. I guess in this chapter, we had to find the mess. The mess that we had created was so deep that we couldn't see the light. In my healing now, I've embraced the mess. I've embraced the loss. I've embraced and outgrown our life that was once together. In this chapter, I've learned that you have to let go completely of everything. You have to surrender to the darkness. You have to go through it to see the light.
Okay, and on that note, I wanted to ask you a couple questions about your relationship. Just give us a little more in-depth about you guys, and then if we could talk about the experience of the falling apart and the miscarriage and how that affected the relationship. But first, I want to get like a little brief of how your relationship started.
We met. I was bartending at the Wonder Bar, and it was a really late night. It was about midnight, and I was getting ready to close up. Of course, we had our regular crowd, and this big, tall mystery man came walking in, and everybody at the bar was like, "Hey, I haven't seen you in forever." And I had never seen this person ever in my life. But he sat down, he was handsome, he had charisma, and I knew the moment I had met him, there was a spark, there was something. I immediately gave him my business card and was like, "Why are you walking around like that? You need a haircut." Like, anything I could do to like nonchalantly give him my phone number, like, hey. So a couple months went by, he kept coming to the bar, and finally I talked him into coming in for a haircut. For a year, he was my client for a whole year. He came in every 2 weeks on the dot for a haircut. And finally one day he was like, "Jaime, how come you don't get it? I'm cutting his hair. And he's like, "How come you don't get it?" And I'm like, "Get what?" And he's like, "You think I come in every 2 weeks for a haircut?" So, and it was right before we had closed down for quarantine. And we, during quarantine, kind of connected more and more and had barbecues and really formed a really strong connection. And so that's kind of how we started. It was actually, our first kiss was pretty cool too. We were at Ryan's Saloon, and it was right when quarantine and all the bars had just opened back up.
Okay.
And it was in the middle of the summer, and he said to me, we had talked about moving in with each other because my apartment was kind of falling apart. And he's very tall, by the way, so he actually picked me up and put me around his waist in the middle of the bar and spun me around. It was like a scene in the Dirty Dancing movie, right? And we kissed in front of everybody, and then the rest is history. We were by each other's side every moment, and moved in with each other literally 2 months later. Yeah.
And so the relationship was going strong.
Yeah, our relationship was very strong. We both were going through some emotional toxic stuff that we were working through, and I don't think neither of us had ever felt a connection so strong before.
And was that connection made stronger the moment you realized you were pregnant and told him you were pregnant? Did you feel like there was a deeper connection there at that moment?
You know, he was battling with drugs and alcohol at the time. And so I felt like there was a lot of hiding involved in our relationship. He was hiding behind his addictions, and because he was hiding, I could feel I was hiding too, to protect myself. And I really feel like we jumped into our relationship and too fast without working on our positive traits first.
Okay.
To make the relationship work positively. When I found out I was pregnant, we were actually living, I had moved out for a little while. We were living in separate households. And we had talked about getting an abortion because we didn't know whether it was going to work or not. So we came together. We decided not to do that. And it was the best 4.5 months of our relationship. There was no fighting. There was pure love. And we embraced our future, creating a family together. So, yeah, I mean, our connection has always been strong.
Yeah, and Mystery Guy, I actually know him personally as a friend. So I remember how happy he was at that moment when he found out he was going to be having a child with you, and then you guys found out the sex of the child and everything, and you were going to have a boy. You were going to have a baby boy.
Right.
And so when you had the miscarriage, it pretty much shattered everything that had been building up in that 4.5 months of being pregnant and forming this family.
Well, I could say he went off the deep end.
So let's talk about where you guys are at right now. After everything falling apart, him going off the deep end, and have you been able to reconnect? Are you guys still talking? Are you just?
Yeah, actually, just recently. It's been, like I said, it's been a couple months now, and we met up at the park a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't even just reuniting with each other. It was just like a confident embracing each other to talk about what happened. There was no intentions, no expectations, no nothing when it came down to us reuniting. But we knew that we had a lot of stuff that was left unsaid, and we had a lot of emotional repair that needed answers. So we met up and we talked 2.5 hours. And it really sparked our connection again, and now we're just, yes, we're talking, and yes, we've reunited, and we're really working on healing each other properly.
Okay.
We still love each other very much, and our connection is never really gone away. Even the months that we weren't speaking, we knew that we were sending the vibes out to each other, and we are trying to work on things now. We do live in separate households. It's not a relationship that has high expectations of coming home and creating a family just now. We're working on ourselves separately and healing separately so we can come together positively and understand each other. I can say we've never ever communicated so well at this time. So yeah, we're reblooming and reuniting and repairing and just trying to recover.
Okay, so that's a lot of recovery that you're
Yeah.
doing, so it's probably going to take some time.
Well, and I think where I've messed up in the past is, we jumped in very quickly, so I expected him to change a few things about himself, and like his alcoholism and his addictions and stuff like that. I expected it to happen overnight, and that's not fair because change is a process and it doesn't happen overnight. And so now in the present, we're both healthy, we both know where we messed up, and we're both accountable for what had happened.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to ask questions and, form some ideas of how I can paint the inner struggle that you are going through. So that's really why I was trying to get all the questions.
I can say that I went to the darkest places I've ever been, and it was scary.
Okay.
Like months of darkness. Like I've never been one of those people that have been like depressed or had any type of I've never experienced depression before, let's put it that way. I've always been that person that's positive and sees the light on the other side. And I can say that the darkness really enlightened me. I mean, it was a dark place that was hard to pull out of. The wheels turned, I did see the light. I do have a really cool support system at home that helped me through it, but I had never experienced darkness like that before. Destroyed me. I didn't want to live. I didn't want to get out of bed. There were times where there was no light involved. I've been doing a lot of yoga and a lot of meditating and a lot of self-reflection, so I did see the light. And that being said, I'm enlightened by the lesson.
Yeah.
And the lesson is to, be patient with yourself, and you have to have that faith that your plan is not always the plan that's for you.
Well, not sure. This is my first or second episode, so I'm not really sure where to go from here. It's the second episode. I'm going to tattoo this lovely lady, and
when you have a bad day, get your face tattooed.
Get a little bit of tattoo pain therapy going today, and talk more about our stories. Maybe I can share a little bit of my stories of my relationship with her, and she can share a little bit more stories of hers with me while we tattoo her today. And I'm gonna get set up for that right now, and y'all can watch. Hi, it's Candice Liberty. I'm back again with Jaime to give her painting, doing the reveal today. And we're going to compare and contrast how her story compares to the painting. So I did a painting for you because I care about you and I love you.
Aw.
And it's for you and the significant other at the time. I'm not sure what's going on with you two this current day and age. But I painted this for you. Let me turn it around. I hope you like it. This is your painting. This easel is kind of janky. Oh, beautiful. So this is a painting I did for you, and this is you kind of in, not necessarily you, but like your insides kind of in a strong pose, holding it together. You can see the pain, but you're moving through it. This is for the child that you lost, the little baby blocks and the little rattle. This would be the tunnel of light, and then this is the baby and the heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And for your significant other at the time, like I said, I don't know what's going on with you guys currently, but this is the tree. And he's also broken over the loss of your guys', and that's making me cry for some reason. He's also broken over the loss of your guys' child, and these are the tears of the trees crying. These are the butterflies, the hope that you guys have with the relationship. Like I said, I'm not sure where it's gonna go, but that's kind of the painting in a gist. Oh, and one last little thing. I painted her in a dark wedding dress because you're all supposed to get married. So, this is you in your wedding dress, standing there. I love you.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad that you love it. Always worry that, oh, I hope they like it, like, you know, so, but this is for you. It's for kind of for both of you, but mainly you. Oh, I think I love you so much. And I hope in any way, shape, or form that by having it like outside, you don't have to carry around the burden and the pain inside as much anymore.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
I love you too.
So I still do have to sign your painting. I'm going to go ahead and sign it, and I will bring it over to you at the salon. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay. Mwah.